How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the channel. This is Big Daddy Dave, and this is a map tour for a new mod map to Farming Simulator 22 called Wastelands. And we are going to start with the description as always, and it says, Wasteland. In times, these lands were used by the people so that they could take food or prosper in better business. Today, a little abandoned and limited, they were required a lot of work and ambition so that something good can be expected for here. The land somewhere on the suburbs of Portugal, in which the region is not exact, contains two farms, one of which is easy mode, already belongs to you, also has large land with some sheds, fertilizer and lime silos, grain silos, haystack, and with two types of animals, cows and chickens. It also has two lands already for cultivation, one vineyard and one olive grove, that are part of the initial farm. Industrial zones with factories, and a vast terrain to explore and work on. Have a good time. The map was created by FSPT and is 99.87 megabytes to download. There are no mods required for this map. Let's go ahead and take a look at the map itself. There we go. You can see we start almost dead center of the map, right here at the shop. What do we start out with on the map? We start out with farmland number 4, all the way down here in the southern portion of the map. Field prices vary depending on what you're looking to buy, so obviously smaller fields and prices, or smaller fields are going to be smaller prices. You go up to something like this, it's 255,000. You can get a little bit bigger, a lot more expensive. A lot of these are vast open grasslands with some trees kind of spattered in there. But you can see some of these bigger ones can get pretty pricey pretty quick. But you do have these small ones down here. Oh, these are actually the grape and olive fields right here, 10 and 11. So that's why they're so cheap. So yeah, smallest grass field you're going to get, it's about 100 grand. You can purchase a periphery on this for $2.49 million. Yeah, pretty pricey. But what do you get with that investment? You get a lot, actually. You get the entirety of the boundary area kind of deal. You get some of the internal areas here with some forestry and all this. You get this whole southeastern portion down here, and that's a big lime quarry down there. And we'll take a tour of that later and see all the cool little goodies you get from that area. What else? You get the shop, some of the internal workings here in the industrial park. Yeah, I mean, you get quite a bit. So, you know, although expensive, it's going to be worth it with the amount of land that you do get. Let's see. Scroll down. You do start out with access to animal pens, but you only have one on property that you own. That is the sheep pasture. We'll see that later. There are contracts. You do not start out with any productions. And there are collectibles on this map. 9 according to this. I haven't found any just yet. But it's possible that it's out there. I just don't know where. There are map-specific mods. If you come to your normal screen here, no mods are actually built in for, you know, purchasables. But if you go in the build menu, I don't think there was any under sheds. I think they're under silos. Yeah, here we go. So we have a Wastelands, 2 silos here, and best as I can tell, it looks like they're the standard base game silos. But they have like rust and stuff kind of smattered up on them, so that's kind of nice little touch. But standard grain silos, no multi-fruit or anything like that. No silo extensions, no containers, no tools, no farmhouses. You do get a whole bunch of production points though, and the reason that is these are the standard in-game productions. Every single one of these are standard, except the signs on the side of the buildings have been changed for each one of these buildings, which is just a nice little touch. It's not a huge change, but it's just enough to make it kind of that next level of immersion. It's really nice, I think. You do get the Wastelands selling point for the supermarket. No green houses, no orchards, and no generators. There are no modded animal pens, no decoration lights or others, and you do get a couple of additional paint palettes that are not base game. So we start out at the shop. You can have access to your shop trigger and go into your menu like so. And you also have your repair trigger here in the corner. Now for this tour, because we are all the way out at the shop and not by any of our equipment, I'm going to go ahead and purchase a pickup to get around the map. There we go. Okay. The first place we're going to go is out in this direction here. Nice little cobblestone road network and dirt paths. Like, it's pretty nice. Like, I have not seen a map up until this point where they've had kind of that cobblestone drives and stuff. So that was kind of cool. Little feature that I noticed. There is this huge bump in the road right here. If you end up purchasing it, you might be able to knock it back with the land forming tools. Let's see, and I believe the turn is right. Yep, there it is. So over here is our first point of interest. Through the woods. This is the biomass heating plant. And take your wood and wood chips, dump it right here, or park your wood over the grate there and click the button to sell your lumber. From here, whoops, look down at my notes and turn too far. Whoa. Yeah, there's a few little bumps and whoop-de-doos just kind of around the map, so pay attention when you're driving. I'm trying, for sake of speed for this tour, to get through it as quickly as possible. Now here's our next point of interest. We have 3 greenhouses. Now, you don't have to purchase the land, but if you chose to do so, if you wanted to like dump things here and leave them around, you can purchase Farmland 15 for $15,300. But again, you don't have to, it's not required. You can purchase each of the individual greenhouses for $10,000 each. And these are standard in-game greenhouses, just require water, and you can produce lettuce. I just noticed that that's slightly off the ground. Lettuce, strawberries, and tomatoes. From here, come to here. It's a cow pasture where you can have up to 200 cows. You have your milk trigger right here, and you know what, we'll hit the truck. Now again, similar to the greenhouses, you can just use these items, but to kind of get full access to the yard and this secondary farm, because this is not the primary farm you start out with, this is a secondary farm. Let's go ahead and check out the map and see where we've been, where we've gone. Where am I? There we go. So we started here at the shop, pulled out, followed this road around this lake, down below the field 2, up through the trees, and checked out the biomass heating plant. Came through here, up to the northern road around the top side of this field. We saw all these greenhouses, came down here, and now we're here at the cow pasture. Now, like I was saying, you can use the cow pasture as well as the chicken pasture, but you don't have access to like just dump things on the ground, things like that. You don't technically own the land that it sits on. You can purchase this property, this farmland 13, for $684,456. If you purchase this, then it also grants you access to a sleep trigger that's at the main house. And to my right are the water and food troughs. Behind us is the slurry pit, and that big silver tank in the background back there, that was the milk storage. Over here is where you can put in your chickens. You can have up to 150 chickens, and their feed goes right there in that trough. Probably should open the gate. There we go. Now this is the secondary farm, as I mentioned before. Come up here, to the right there is the main farmhouse. If you purchase the land, then the sleep trigger and whatnot pop up at that farmhouse. Out back, you have a seed fertilizer lime silo. That's what this is right here. So you can dump in any of those products and store them. Directly in front of us is a bunker silo. We have 4 beehive boxes right there, and the beehive spawn trigger. As best as I could tell, the honey pallets do not spawn until after you purchase the land. In front of us here is the hayloft, and beside that is the silo. And you get some fair amount of storage back here. I mean, you can see that's pretty decent amount. Okay, from here, I'm gonna head south. Some more storage off to our right. Now I will say that the roadways can get pretty narrow at times, so be careful of how you're transporting certain vehicles, certain pieces of equipment, you know, things like that, because it can get a little tight. Alright, over here is the giant industrial area. So it's kind of more than just an industrial area, because there's gas stations, supermarkets, there's all sorts of stuff that is more than just, you know, the industrial kind of production area. But right here is the gas station, and directly in front of us is the BGA. Bunker silos right behind us, a couple of large ones. And what's really nice is they have this ramp placed in here, so you can actually put all your silage, cut sugar beets, your standard crops that go to a BGA into this. Can just be dumped directly into it with a trailer. We're going to check out the map just real fast. Now we were up here by the greenhouses and the cows. We saw the chickens, came up and we saw the seed, fertilizer, and lime silo. Came up and we checked out the beehives, the hayloft, and the silo. And again, once you purchase the land, right about here where the reticle is, that's where the farmhouse and sleep trigger will pop up. We then came out of there all the way down to the main-ish road, and down to the side beside the shop, down here to the entranceway, up to the gas station, and now at the BGA. You can purchase the BGA. It's farmland number 31, and you can purchase it for $47,160. It's super cheap for a BGA. That's really, really nice. Now I think it's only a 500 kilowatt BGA, so it's not the smallest one, but it's certainly not huge either. At least I don't think that's a large one. Um, so you're gonna be able to produce quite a bit. Where is? Sorry, I lost the entrance. There it is. Just turned too soon. Okay, now over here in the back there is the bale sell point, bale sale sell point. And this is the animal dealer, where you can purchase all your animals directly, or if you have an animal trailer, transport trailer, you can actually load into that trailer and deliver your deliver your animals to your pens. And as you can see, you do have access to those other two animal pens. You got the cow barn and the chicken pasture. Those are the two up the north farm. And you have the sheep pasture, which is down at your southern farm. That is your starting farm. But again, you don't own the property there at the second property, or the second farm, the northern farm. Around back here, this is... Oh, I missed something. Hold on. I'm jumping the gun, going ahead of myself. To the right, right here, this is the log selling sell point. So you can load your logs and stuff right there and sell it directly, or you can sell wood chips right here. Okay, so wood sell point, wood chip sell point. Moving on. Over here, up this ramp, is the grain sales. This is a sell point, and you can sell grain. Around the backside is the seed and fertilizer buy points. So you can buy seed, fertilizer, possibly lime. Don't quote me on that one, but it's definitely seed and fertilizer. Let's see, down this way. This, ahead of us, is the cooperative sell point. Again, we'll come through here. On our left is the bakery. Purchase this for $50,000. Oh, I did not show inputs and outputs. Inputs right here, outputs right there. And this is what I was talking about. So looking at the very first production point, they use just the basic architecture of the game, but they added in these signs that are unique to this map. So it kind of dresses it up and makes it unique, and I really like that. Like, even though it's the same building, same structure and all that, it's just a little bit different. Every single one of these factories has something different. Next is the carpentry. You can purchase this for $60,000, and again, just a different looking sign that makes it just slightly different. Inputs right here, as well as your lumber sale trigger, your wood sale trigger, and outputs right here. Next is the dairy. You can purchase the dairy for $70,000, and inputs right here. Again, different signs, and you can look on the spinning carton itself. That's even different. Like, they did a good job of taking what was their base and making it unique. Outputs are right here. Across the way is a cereal factory. Again, look at that. Even the different looking cereals that they do, like a Fruit Loops. You know, probably shouldn't use name brands here, But I mean, that's just what it looks like. Is you got your chocolate pebbles and uh, cornmeal or whatever flakes, corn flakes. Inputs right here, outputs right here, and can be purchased for $110,000. Moving on down, we have the grain mill. Again, unique signage. It's really nice. Inputs here, outputs over here, and can be purchased for $96,000. Next is the tailor shop. For $100,000, you can own the tailor shop. Inputs right here, outputs on the other side, right back here, and tailor shop also includes a wardrobe trigger. Across the street from there is the oil mill. Inputs and outputs. So inputs here, outputs here, and can be purchased for $80,000. Across the street is the supermarket sell point right there in the back. And again, just like the production points, this sell point is unique. All the signage on the side is different than normal base game stuff. So it's just that little level of detail. It's really nice. Across the way is the great processing plant. 80,000 will get you that. Inputs back here, outputs up front. Over here is the sugar mill. For 80,000 you can purchase that. Again, signage. Very, very nice. Outputs up front. Inputs are back here. And then lastly, is the spinnery. 60,000 will get you a spinnery. Inputs right here, outputs right over here. So you got everything just kind of tightly compact in one area here, which is, super convenient. You know pretty much where you've got to take everything. Come back out to the cobblestone road. And you can see what I was talking about just the vast expanse of, grasslands and trees. Like there's some, forestry to be done. You can see, like here, there's a little bit of forestry leading up to our farm right here. Alright, we'll go ahead and stop here. Turn off the vehicle. And we'll discuss what do we start out with. Come to this screen here and look at our owned items. We start with the Massey Ferguson 3670. We also have the John Deere 7R 270. The Deutz-Fahr Topliner 4090H. We do not start with the pickup. I just purchased that, so under trailers, we have the Kloss Carrot 140 TD. The header for the Deutz-Fahr. For plows, we have the Pottinger Servo 25. Under cultivators, the Horsch Torano 3FX. Whoops. Under seeders, we have the Nordstein HK25 plus NS3030. Under mowers, the Sepp Nunsel F240. Under forage wagons, the Pottinger Boss Alpine 251, the Massey Ferguson 1840 baler, and the Arcusin FSX 63.72. Now, what I will say, this baler and this bale loader do not go together. So just take note of that. Now, if you look under your baler, this makes 120 centimeter bales. The bale loader takes a minimum of 180 centimeters. So these two do not work together. You will have to purchase a baler that is larger or the correct bale loader. All your equipment starts right here on the farm. Over here is our sleep trigger. Oops, jumped right over. Oh, well, that's a problem. Yeah, okay, so that's gonna probably need to be fixed. Well, anyways, over here we have a hayloft. Over here we have our silo, and back behind it we do start with a bunker silo. So that's really nice. Now, as you can see, if we look at the map and we'll take a look where we've been, we came from this whole farm area down to the biogas plant. I'm sorry, we saw the gas station first, then the biogas plant, and came back out, came across and checked out the bale sales sell point as well as the animal dealer. They do use the Hobelero nameage. We then came out and saw the log cells as well as the wood chip cells. Then came out and saw the grain cell as well as the seed and fertilizer selling station. Came out and back and saw the cooperative sell point. Came back out, came down, we checked out the bakery, the carpentry, the cereal factory, grain mill, oil mill, grape processing unit, dairy, spinnery, this is not in order unfortunately, sugar mill, supermarket, and tailor shop. After we saw all those various ones, we came up and around to the road, back down to here where we're at the main farm. Now, the reason I took us and caught us up to this point is if you look, you don't own any farmland. Like, you own property, but you don't own any fields. Now, this map does come with 2 fields. That is it. And you can get contracts on those 2 fields. You do have a grape and olive orchard over in the west side of the map, but you don't own them to start. So, what you do own is right over here. Now, you can do some logging. I mean, you do start out with a fair bit of lumber and wood all around your property. So you could do that. Or, because you do start out with some grass equipment, you can come out here and you can mow all this grassland that's in the sheep pasture. Speaking of the sheep pasture, you have the ability to have up to 150 sheep. Wool spawn point right there. Food and water are underneath that awning there. Like I said, you can do grass, you can do woods, and you know, cut trees, but that's totally up to you. From here, now, as you saw, there are a few, you know, kind of issues on the map. We just passed by one, that kind of growth of grass that cuts through the roadway. There are a few of those strewn about. The issue that we saw with the sleep trigger not working. Up ahead of us, there's some fencing that kind of just just comes right out into the middle of the road for some reason. So there's going to definitely be an update that's going to have to happen in order to get these kind of small issues corrected. Like right up here, there's another grass patch that just kind of cuts over the roadway. Okay, our next point of interest, right here. This is a lime station where you can just buy lime directly from the quarry here. And look at all that white stuff. There's something I got to note about it, but it's a little odd. And right back here is a stone crusher. Now, when I first came on here, I thought it was so cool because I thought, well, you take the ramp, you load into the stone crusher, and it actually crushes the stone. And I thought this might have been like another production kind of thing. It's not. It's not. I got my hopes up. It's just a normal stone crusher, so it's just a place to sell stones. Um, and they have the built-in ramp. Now, I will say, when I brought my trailer down here, I did get a trigger pop up about here. I think what they did is they just butted this ramp right up against the stone crusher and didn't deactivate the trigger that already comes standard with the stone crusher. Now, you see all this stuff that's on the ground. When I first came out here, I assumed this was lime. That was the first thing I thought. This is, stone crusher, this is a quarry, all that. It's got to be what it is, right? Well, on my kind of tour around, I went out and I purchased this periphery for the $2.49 million. And upon purchasing it, I got a bucket and shovel and started picking this stuff up. Turns out this is not lime. This is snow. So just a warning, if you're getting all the money needed just to come out here and get access to all this what looked to be lime, you're going to be sorely disappointed. Sorely, sorely disappointed. But there are mods out there that will let you use this lime and produce things. You've got the snow melter, to name one off the top of my head. So that will take the snow, melt it down to make water, so you can have all the water you ever need for your animals. But again, at 2.4 million, might not be the greatest of investments. So that is Wastelands. That is the map. Now let's talk about my opinions and what I think of it. Out of a 0 to 5 rating, I would rate this at... You know what? I'd give this a 3 in its current state. In its current state, a 3. I like this map. I like how there's the undulations, the color palette, the way that kind of things are just kind of built into this. Like, I know it's a quarry, so like things are like built into it naturally, like into the ground and like almost into the stone and mountains kind of thing. Like, yeah, that's how it would obviously be. But over at like the shop, or your shop trigger in what is it? The shop trigger and repair trigger are. That's kind of carved into the mountainside there. It's not the mountainside, the hillside. So it's just those kind of features, those kind of little touches of details are really, really nice. But this overall is a really good map, I think. I think that there's a lot of upside to this map and really kind of allow you to kind of build it into something that you want. And it's got good bones to where you'd be able to, kind of start out with all that kind of industrial area in the center. You can purchase all the land that's available on this map. You can purchase it, so that's really nice. That's definitely a plus in my book. But because of the issues that are on the map thus far that I found, the snow here at the quarry, not lime, the fence that jets out in the roadway, the patches of grass where grass shouldn't be in the middle of the road, And just the little bips and bops, here and there, just takes it down to 3. Once those things get fixed, I think 3.5, 4. This is, I think, a really nice map. They did a really good job, the map maker, and yeah, I would definitely recommend this. I would certainly wait to do any sort of real deep playing on it until after the update comes out, because it's possible that any updates that come out after would be needing a new save game and could potentially, ruin any progress that you make. But that is Wastelands. I hope you enjoyed this map tour. If you did, please show me by liking, sharing, subscribing, following, commenting, doing all the things that the algorithms enjoy you doing that shows you're engaged with this channel and enjoying the content. And that being said, I hope you have a fantastic day. Take care.